I saw a daytime TV show at the gym the other week, and they were talking about Christmas gift ideas for husbands. Socks in a can with his face printed on them, custom Lego figures that are supposed to look like him, a foot massage machine, a bobble hat with a built-in head torch, random stuff he could buy himself any day of the year but doesn't because, let's be honest, he doesn't actually want them. And it made me wonder, do we genuinely think this is what most husbands are hoping for at Christmas? Because what most men actually want isn't more stuff. Okay, maybe some stuff, granted. But I'm going out on a limb here to suggest that maybe, just maybe, they also want to feel appreciated. They want their efforts noticed, to feel wanted and welcomed by their wives, and to know their happiness truly matters to the woman they've committed their life to. But this is where I think many well-intentioned wives miss the mark. Not because they don't care, but because we tend to give love in the way we most like to receive it ourselves. It's the classic love language mismatch. In my case, for example, I love handwritten cards where my husband writes something thoughtful about how he feels about me or about us. I love verbal affirmations. I love it when he announces we're going to lunch because he wants to spend the day with me. Those things make me feel truly loved and valued. And because those are what I enjoy the most, they're also what I might naturally find easy to give. It's comfortable territory for me because I talk for a living, and so I'm right at home in the emotional realm. Writing heartfelt notes, voicing my feelings, and expressing appreciation with words all come naturally to me, but for my husband, it's different. For him, writing an emotional card doesn't come naturally at all. It requires concerted effort. He has to slow down, think carefully, and concentrate on finding the right words. But he does it anyway because he knows it matters to me. What does come naturally to him is something else entirely, and I'm fairly sure most of you know where I'm going with this. The language he instinctively speaks is touch, physical closeness, sexual connection. Those are the conduits through which he feels loved most intensely. And just as emotional expressiveness doesn't come naturally to him, if I'm being completely honest, initiating sex, being spontaneous, and thinking creatively about intimacy doesn't come naturally to me either. I have to be intentional about those things. And that's the point I want to make here. Generosity in marriage is about extending yourself in ways that matter most to your spouse, rather than doing what feels most comfortable to you. And so Christmas is a great opportunity to think about what might actually make him feel truly loved and appreciated. So last year, with this philosophy in mind, I decided to be a little brave and try something different, and so I gave him this. It's just a pretty glass jar filled with sparkly gifts, and it cost about $20 in total. But on each of the cards is a promise of a sexy favour or a fun, intimate adventure, tokens he can redeem at any time he chooses over the next few weeks or months. Now, you can write whatever you like on them within your comfort zone, as long as you're genuinely willing to follow through, of course. I'll share the full list on my blog, which I'll link in the description, but here are a few examples to inspire you. Quickie before work, bedtime hand job, blow job in the office. Things like that, you get the idea. My husband thought this was the best gift he could possibly imagine any man ever getting. The real reason men love these kinds of gifts isn't all about the acts themselves, but more deeply what they represent. Because the jar isn't really about sex at all. It's about clearly and explicitly communicating, I value you, you matter to me, I want you to be happy, I enjoy being your wife, I'm devoted to what makes you feel good. I care about you, and this is one of the ways I intend to bring you joy this year. So the principle is simple. Give your husband what he actually wants. Radical, I know. And remember, this kind of effort doesn't disappear like throwing coins down a well. It comes back, compounded. It's an investment in collective joy, the kind that envelops your marriage and makes everything else flow more freely. And there's research behind this. Studies on married couples consistently show that when wives are sexually engaged and generous, their husbands' overall relationship satisfaction increases significantly. And interestingly, physical intimacy often creates more emotional closeness, not just the other way around. So when you invest generously in his language, you're building emotional connection for both of you. Your husband feels valued, wanted, and seen. And when someone feels that way, they naturally want to reciprocate, not out of obligation, but out of genuine gratitude. That's the upward spiral of mutual generosity I talk about so often on this channel. And believe me, this spirit of fearless generosity will set your marriage leagues apart from most others. You know, when you're in the school queue or at work drinks and people are complaining about their spouses with rolled eyes, typical men, typical women, that low level, low energy, anti-life bonding over collective marital disappointment? No thanks. Just smile politely, disagree, and go create something different for yourselves. My husband has this expression: marry a woman you can steal horses with. It's about companionship and adventure, about having a shared secret life. It's Bonnie and Clyde without the crime. It's about daring to keep things exciting and fresh while everyone else is complaining in the school queue. So the jar is stealing horses. It says, I'm not going to let us become boring. I'm choosing adventure. I'm choosing to remain alive. I'm choosing you. And look, I know that for some couples, things might not feel quite so light-hearted right now. Maybe sex has become strained, loaded, or even a quiet source of worry rather than joy. If that's you, Christmas and New Year can be a gentle way to start anew, a way of saying, without a big conversation or post-mortem, I don't want you to worry about this anymore. I'm taking our intimate life seriously, and this is how I'm going to start showing you that. I recently spoke with Michelle Weiner Davis, who's spent decades helping couples restore intimacy, and she puts it perfectly. You have to decide to make having a vibrant, exciting, emotionally satisfying sexual relationship a priority. And that's exactly what this is: a declaration, a commitment to prioritize sexual connection, not just for Christmas, but for the long haul. So this Christmas, maybe don't just give him socks. Give him a reminder that you're still his partner in crime. Merry Christmas to all the women who love their husbands, and to all the husbands who hope their wives are watching. See you in 2026.